Look, the idea that it concerns me a great deal that we're going to, after 50 years, decide a woman does not have a right to choose within the limits of the Supreme Court decision in Casey, number one. But even more, equally as profound is the rationale used. Right. And it would mean that every other decision relating to the notion of privacy is thrown into question. If the rationale of the decision as released were to be sustained, a whole range of rights are in question, a whole range of rights. And the idea we're letting the states make those decisions, localities make those decisions, would be a fundamental shift in what we've done. So it goes far beyond, in my view, if it becomes a law and if what is written is what remains. It goes far beyond the concern of whether or not there is the right to choose. It goes to other basic rights, the right to marry, the right to determine a whole range of things.
President, can it do away with the filibuster to codify Roe?
I'm not prepared to make those judgments now about, but I think the codification of Roe makes a lot of sense. Look, think what Roe says. Roe says what all basic mainstream religions have historically concluded, that the existence of a human life and being is a question. Is it at the moment of conception? Is it 6 months? Is it 6 weeks? Is it quickening, like Aquinas argued? I mean, so the idea that we're going to make a judgment that is going to say that no one can make the judgment to choose to abort a child based on a decision by the Supreme Court, I think goes way overboard.
For years, the radical left has attacked the institution of the Supreme Court. Last night, it appears their campaign hit a new low. Historically, the justices, clerks, and staff have prized and protected the court's confidentiality. The justices must be able to discuss and deliberate in an environment of total trust and privacy. Americans cannot receive a fair trial if politicians, pundits, bullies, and mobs get a say in court. Look, all of this puts the cart before the horse. We have 3 Supreme Court clerks in my conference. They all explain the procedure. And our entire conversation today was about what I've just been talking to you about. And you need, it seems to me, excuse the lecture, to concentrate on what the news is today. Not a leaked draft, but the fact that the draft was leaked.
On that, I think like many people across this country, and certainly here in the city, I felt a gut punch when I saw the news breaking across many wire services last night. It is despairing moment, depressing moment, I will say, but unfortunately not a surprising moment. Too many things in our country have become highly politicized, and now we know with absolute certainty that the U.S. Supreme Court is one of those entities.
First of all, the leak is absolutely reprehensible and needs to be condemned in the strongest possible terms. I really find it shocking that that this would happen. I understand it is unprecedented. Second point is Roe is still the law of the land. We don't know the direction that this decision may ultimately take, but if it goes in the direction that this leaked copy has indicated, I will just tell you that it rocks my confidence in the court right now.
Would it be time for Congress to step in and affirm the concept of Roe v. Wade?
Well, Senator Collins and I, in February, introduced a bill that would codify Roe v. Wade. I thought it made sense then, and I think it makes perhaps more sense now.
Would you, for Connecticut women, for Connecticut families concerned hearing about this leak, what do you want them to know here in Connecticut?
I want them to know that despite the federal government and the potential that the courts will overturn Roe v. Wade. We're not going to let that happen in Connecticut. We're going to fight for women's rights and reproductive rights. I don't need politicians getting between a mom and her doctor. Let them make the decision themselves.
We don't fund abortion with taxpayer dollars.
If a woman wants to get an abortion, she will probably still get it.
Right?
Well, no,
I mean,
that's
Roe
the
is about
question.
the
Now,
right.
wait a minute. You asked me a question. Am I going to start supporting the use of taxpayer dollars to fund abortion? No, I'm not. That's the law of the land today. We have the Hyde Amendment. There's a restriction on using federal taxpayer dollars to fund abortion. I would advocate for that restriction home. Believe it or not, there are a lot of people who are against abortion, who don't want their money used